be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Welcome. Good morning. My name is Jason Sisneros. Welcome to the Built to Exit podcast, where we talk about all things business, where we talk about all things exit, where we talk about all things cash flow optimization and all the stuff that comes with being in business. And first off, before I get really rolling today, I want to say good morning to a bunch of new folks. We did an event. I just got back from Chicagoland area. Just did a big event for 300 people. We'll call them the Wolf Pack right now, because that's what they call themselves. An amazing group. One company, 300 people. We rocked the house. Literally almost brought the building down. So good morning to all of you, my new friends from the Chicago area. Really had a great time. Gives me a lot of faith in business and the mindset and the next generation, coming up behind us and whatnot. So thank you so much for inviting me in. We had a great time. There'll be a bunch of social media stuff coming out with some of the clips and whatnot. Very powerful event for me. And then I want to say hello to my new friends, from Fox and CW and Tristan Tapscott, who interviewed me while I was there in the area. So thank you for that. We've got that posted, I believe, if you go to our Instagram, the Jason Sisneros, over on Instagram, you can find the episode or the interview that we did over there. That was an amazing time. Great, amazing, fantastic time in Illinois and the Quad Cities area. It was just a great trip. And so happy to be spending time with people out there, watching them build their businesses, people that are watching this content and doing stuff with it. And I get to hug them in real life and see what they're doing with their businesses and meet their employees and just having a great time. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for y'all that watch me and share this show and do the stuff that we do. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing it until you all just go away. I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing it. I enjoy doing it. So welcome to those of you that are brand new. This is where we talk here. What do we do here for, during these shows? We talk about things that are important to business owners. And if you're not a business owner yet, or you're working in a business, or you're running a company, these are all things that are super helpful. I talk a lot about things that matter to you in principle, around mindset, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of value in the past episodes. Things that people, I think, are charging. I saw somebody had a course, for $50,000 for, I think what you got in 20 minutes of an episode I did 3 weeks ago. I saw that they were charging for that. And I know the people that are doing that deal. And I'm like, you get it for free. In some of my episodes, you get a lot of this value. So that's what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to level the playing field for those of you that own businesses that are actually producers, right? It's a shitload of people that are out there that surround business owners that have their hands in our pockets, and people that we have to pay. And like, it's a constant battle to be a business owner. And this is my family. This is who I defend. This is who I am. This is who I'm surrounded by. These are the people that were, if you came to my wedding, that were on my side of the aisle, because business owners, my family, it's my family. And so I have, I'm honor bound to protect our environment, right? My wife and I, those of you that don't know us, my wife and I own businesses. I bought and sold businesses for my entire career, had a big exit back in 2019, and I continue to buy and sell businesses. My wife and I are partners in everything that we do at this point. And then we have this Built to Exit, which is, it's in the name, right? We want you to build the exit. So the couple of things that we talk about, some of the premises that we build off of, the first one is that everybody exits. Everybody exits, so how matters. And then we do this show. And so what we mean by that is that none of us are going to take our business with us. Okay. And so the exit, if you're building an asset, what you would originally just think of it like your house, you keep it in good shape, you add on to it, and then eventually somebody else is going to own that house. It's no different with your business, except for there's a particular type of exit that we want to try to avoid, and that's called involuntary exit. That involuntary exit means you're going to go out of business. I did it 3 times. My first 3 businesses that I started all went out, all involuntary. I didn't want them to go out of business, but we ran out of cash. The bank collected on stuff. The tax people locked the doors on one of my businesses. So it's not the ideal situation that we want to see, but it is a fact of life as a business owner that is something that you're always facing. 95% of businesses that start today will not see their 10th birthday. 50% of them are out of business within that first year. It's not stacked in our favor. So what I want this show to be, and what Built to Exit really is that sell side, the company that you want to sell, the sell side, the business owners, those of us that are building real assets and taking real risks and doing very, difficult work and making difficult decisions and all of the stuff as a business owner, you have to get right? There's a million things that can go wrong in a business and a few of them that go right for you to be successful long-term, much less statistically for you to go into that next category, which is somebody that can sell something, which is the second exit that you can have, which is a dictated exit, which means you have one asset, you're going to sell it one time, and you're going to sell it to people who most will hopefully have bought a bunch of businesses. So you're at a disadvantage in that transaction because you are being dictated to by somebody who knows what they're doing. Think car sales. You buy 7, 10, whatever throughout your life, and you're going in and sitting down across from a salesperson who sells 30 a month. You are at a distinct disadvantage. No matter who you take with you, no matter how much reading you do, you're at a distinct disadvantage to someone who has repetitively done what you are going to do infrequently. Okay, there's the rule. So dictated basically, and that also happened to me. I was able to build something up. Somebody bought it. They kicked my ass in the transaction. I got paid half of what I probably should have. It took me about 3 years for me to collect it. I had to stay involved. Just a pain in the rear. So then I got real passionate about what we actually talk about here, which is custom tailored exits. Okay. Custom tailored exits means that you're going to get really crystal clear about what your outcome is. And that's a lot about today's episode. I'm going to dive in and talk about what drives some of that stuff. But we talk about custom tailored exits because it comes down to, once you realize everybody exits, how matters. Now you want to take that how matters and you want to craft your exit to be the exit that you want for you, your family, and your purpose in life. I saw an interview with Raval. I'm going to get his name wrong, Navigant, and he said something really fascinating that kind of spurred this switch. I've got another episode that I was going to do today, but I switched to this one because of what happened in Chicago, and also because of this interview that I saw with him. And he said, the gist of it was, most people spend very little time designing or thinking about what they want out of their life. So, if you're planning on ordering dinner, like how long do you spend in the menu? How long I just started running through these different things. When you go on your vacation, how much time do you spend on where are you going to go? When you end up making massive decisions in life, like who you're going to marry, what you're going to do with your business, what the end game looks like, what happens if you live to 120 years old, because the sciences are getting better. Like all of these things start to roll together, and yet we don't do a lot of thinking about the end game, the outcome, right? He suggests if you're going to make a decision that is going to take 4 years, you want to put a year of thought into it. Now, I don't know if that's reasonable or what, but the concept is applicable to you, the business owner, thinking about why you're building your business. Why are you building it? What's going to happen if you happen to, you don't have to own your business for 10 years, but let's say you do, what then? When you're ready to move on to whatever's next for you, sailing the 7 seas, starting a charity, supporting a charity, starting another business, spending more time with your kids, whatever it is for you, what does that look like? Okay. And the hard, cold truth is that we are looking, and we can discuss whether this is right or wrong or whatever it is. And there'll be lots of people that will disagree with me. But if you're a business owner, you will understand really deeply what I'm about to say. You're running and building a business for the word freedom, okay? Not, whatever that means to you. It's not Jason Sisneros' description, but what it is a certain set of circumstances that give you the ability to make choices with your time. Who you spend it with, where you spend it with, at what quality do you spend it, where do you go, how often can you go, those types of things. It's the freedom, which is dictated in part, large part, by your economic condition. All right, that's the truth. Now, those of you that sit out there and sit on a mountaintop and go, whoa, 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 but you're free in your mind right now. I get it. I understand that premise. What I'm talking about is the truth is that as the society is set up right now, if you want all of the choices in your life, you're going to have to pay for them. You're going to have to pay for your freedom. The greatest tool for you to be able to pay for your freedom is to own a business if you realize it's a tool that creates the revenue and the conditions and the actual hard asset called money to be able to buy your time back. Simple. I don't want to get into theoretical conversations as I do sometimes when it comes down to the fact that that you're building a business to create freedom, right? You're going to put a roof over your head. That gives you freedom from the outside. You're putting food in your family's mouth. That gives you freedom from starvation. You're driving a car. That gives you freedom of roaming and ranging. You have a little extra money. It gives you freedom to be able to travel. You understand what I'm saying, and most people do. Okay. So if that's the case, how much does your freedom cost? Now you have an end game, right? You have an end game. You can say, oh, the amount for me to be able to free me and my family is $2 million because it's going to pay off the house, can pay off a car. It's going to, $1 million spinning off 10%. That's $100,000, and it all adds up to you, not mine, not not anybody, your specific description of the end game, the freedom that you seek for you and your family. Nobody else's. Not this stupid Instagram bullshit, jets and Lambos and all this other kind of stuff. No offense if you have those things or you desire those things, but don't let that dictate for you your path in life. Okay. You want to create that end game. You want to create that number. How much money does it take for me to be free? And then I have a machine and I reverse engineer and I go, that machine is going to create enough cash to fill up that account to get me and my family free, right? Free, whatever that number is. Now you stop. Here's the ramifications of getting this right in your head, which is why I say something about it every single week. The ramifications of getting this right means that you get to every dollar that it spins out, that hard-earned, what we call the mother of all money, right? The mother of all money, which is free cash flow. You're able to pull that out, and instead of buying a car or upgrading your house or doing things to impress people who don't like you and never will, right? You put that into an account that becomes your freedom account. And you start playing the game by the rule that will get you the actual unstated or unconscious or fully stated, now that you've met me, the outcome of purchasing your freedom. Okay. That's it. That money goes there instead of trying to impress people and trying to all the crap that people do with money that doesn't lead to wealth. It leads to moments of being rich, moments of looking rich, but a lifetime of continuing to struggle to keep up with the Joneses or the Smiths or whoever it is that you want to compete with. And you end up wasting all of that time and wasting a ton of money by not taking money off the table to feed your freedom. Okay. So that's what we talk about here. Custom tailored exits. Everything that I do is custom tailored for me, right? You can go to jasonsisneros.com and read further about it, but it's a custom tailored lifestyle. When I realized, oh, it's about my choices. It's about those. That's what my wife and I custom tailored our life. We custom tailored our wedding. We custom tailored like all of the things that we do, because that's the joy of life, is being able to live it and experience the only true success. And I'm going to botch it, what Raval said, but the only true success is that you lived a life that you enjoyed. Okay. And this is even biblical, right? That we're supposed to reflect joy. And how do you do that? A life spent in stress and wondering what's next, or competing with people, or trying to get the love of people or the respect of people through worldly things is such a waste of time, right? It's such a waste of time. Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Built to Exit, a world-class business consulting firm that's helped hundreds of clients and thousands of business owners fix, scale, and successfully master their companies. Let me ask you a question. Are you serious about changing the direction of your business, but you don't have the funds to bring in a high-level consulting team? Well, then keep watching. We created the Built to Exit system specifically for entrepreneurs like you. Whether you're a startup trying to avoid costly mistakes or a seasoned owner stuck in a plateau or a downturn, this do-it-yourself system is your answer. Now, this course isn't easy. It's not a gimmick. It's not sugar-coated motivational feel-good fest if you know me at all. It's a graduate level masterclass built from decades of business ownership, consulting, and real-world results. If you're willing to do the work and follow the blueprint we use with companies that pay us 5 and 6 figures, you will finally have a system that gives you time freedom, financial control, and a clear path to a successful exit. So if you're serious about building a business that works with or without you, go to www.b2xsystem.com right now, because everybody exits. The only question is how. So understanding why are you put on this earth, understanding that between you and your maker, right? And being joyful in that journey. There is no other measure of success, right? The title of this episode is the 4 emotions that'll make you rich. Rich in my life, in my meaning, may be different than yours. Rich has a component of having enough money to be free. Okay? That's what money means to me, to be free, to have choices, to be able to do the things with the people that I love and be able to have an impact that I believe God put me on this earth to have. It's also rich in relationships, the people that I can impact, the people that I can go and do things with, the charities that I support, the things that I do to rescue children and work with domestic violence, and to feed people. Those are the things that make me rich. My relationship to my wife, my relationship to my family, my relationship to my kids, my relationship to many of you, right? That makes me rich in spirit. It makes me rich in joy. It makes me rich in impact. It makes me rich in so many more areas than just this minute thing. And a portion of it is the amount of money that I said to myself many, many years ago that I needed to compile to be able to purchase back my freedom. That's what I want for you. And that's what the content of all of these videos that I do week after week after week after week is meant to hand you tools and perspective shifts and modifications of behaviors and different mentality and psychology for you to be able to do that with your life and for you to be able to pass this on. I know and I realize that this podcast and my following, or how many of big monster, like I realize I'm only looking for 600 of you that get this concept and do something about it with your business. Not all of you are my customer. Not all of you, are people who are going to take that. Everybody can improve their situation from watching the show that owns a business that's doing business. Okay. Everybody can benefit from it. But as far as doing business with us and the company called Built to Exit, there's not many of you, right? Because there's a series of steps that have to be in place for you to have an asset. First, you got to optimize it for cash flow. You got to know where you're at. You got to put the discipline in. You got to build a team. You got to do a lot of stuff and then be able to get to a place where the transaction of you actually exiting your business in a custom tailored fashion. I know there's not many of you that are out there that are going to do that. But if you're out there, I'd love to work with you. Okay. At the end of the day, when it comes to exiting your business, when it comes to that, the statistics are stacked against you. 95% of people fail in business. Of the businesses that get put on the marketplace, less than 7% of them sell. Of the 7% that actually do end up selling, 50% of them fall apart after the deal is closed. That's the statistics. And so that's how I know very few of you are going to be able to navigate that because of today's subject, emotional, right? The emotional side of it. And I saw this, why I switched it back was because I saw so much emotion in the team that I went and spoke to, right? We had it was an amazing group of 300 people, and the emotions that come out when you actually are with people who give a shit about you, when you are spending time with people who are genuine, when you really want to help people and they are genuinely looking for help and they're looking for that next thing without being manipulated. And it's very hard these days to find out in life. It's very hard to find people who are genuinely there to help you with no agenda, right? It's very, very difficult. And even less, or even more rare, I should say, that trust is built in such a way that in such a short amount of time that you start to take action, right? You start to take action on it. And that's what I was honored to get with this team of people, the Wolf Pack from Chicago. It was amazing. So let's get into it a little bit today, and talk about the subject at hand. Okay. The 4 emotions that will make you rich and the 4 that will ruin you. If business was just numbers, think about this for just a second. If business was just numbers and spreadsheets, everybody with a calculator would be retired. Think about that for a second. If business was just numbers and spreadsheets, everybody with a calculator would be retired. But it's not, right? It's not. It's human, right? It's emotional. The wrong emotions can bankrupt you, right? And the right emotions will make you completely and totally unstoppable. Like, it's emotional, and emotions are a choice. Now, I know we live in a day and age where everybody thinks that it's not our choice, that our emotions just happen to us. I know that we live in a day and age. That is why this show is not for everybody, because I know for a fact, multiple times, and I'm not going to get into it in this show, but I know for a fact that emotions are a choice, ultimately. Okay. Oh, Jason, what do you mean? I can choose to be pissed. I can choose to not be sad. I can choose not to be depressed. I can choose not. Yes. And again, that's why the show isn't for a lot of people, right? I believe that life is not happening to us. It's happening for us. I picked that up from Tony Robbins. Thank you, Tony. And I believe that all of the things that we feel and act on ultimately come down to us being the one that makes the choice. Well, you don't know my wife. You don't know my husband. They know how to really push my buttons. Move your damn button. Okay. Move your button. If somebody knows how to manipulate you emotionally, that is because you are you have become predictable and weak enough to have something bother you without changing where the button is. right? Oh, she knows how to put my button. Move the button. That's a you issue. In my life, that was a me issue. Something would trigger me. I would be like, why am I triggered? I hate the word triggered. Like, why am I triggered? Oh, it's because I have not accepted emotional responsibility and maturity to be able to understand that life is not actually about me. Right? The more I serve other people, the more I fall in love with their outcome, the more that I serve them, the better I actually feel about myself. The less that it becomes about me. I can stand on stage and do things on podcasts and say things in public and take actions. The more I make it less about me, the more I can do crazy shit that actually impacts and serves and lifts people in their own lives to a whole other level. Think about that for a second. I could care less what anybody thinks about me. I could care less. Those of you that have followed me for a while know and understand that I take hard stances against popular beliefs and popular things, and I choose consciously. Yes, and I get this a lot, Jason. There's some of these things that are out there that have giant stages. And why are you not there? I can promise you on my grandmother's grave that I get invited to those things and turn them down because they're not in alignment with my ethics. It's very simple. It's very simple. I love if you see me on stage, okay, I want everybody to hear this. If you see me on stage, there is a tacit understanding and a deep investigation into the people that I am on their stage. Some of them are very, very small, but they're impactful. And I know that if, ethically they keep doing what they're doing, they're going to become a bigger force in the world. And that's who I want to support. I have all of the business that I want. If Built to Exit, if nobody ever does business with Built to Exit, my wife and I are fine. We have lots of other businesses I sold back in 2019. So my primary business is not fooling you into buy a program through Built to Exit or having my team of amazing consultants come in and help your business. That is not my primary. My primary, the reason for Built to Exit, for the people that do decide that they want to do it, do the hard work, and are going to step through that tiny little gauntlet that's called exiting your business at your optimum levels. Okay. So, anyways, I knew I was going to get fired up about this. I want to try to thank God my team puts together these slides that it keeps me on track, or we'd be here for 3 hours and I just go on to preaching. So let's focus in. That message is more for me than it is for anybody else. Focus in on these emotions, all right? And I like to use real world business examples of what I'm talking about. It's not just theoretical. When you get these things right, it can mean the difference between a $100 billion company and a company that went completely out of business and lost hundreds of millions of dollars for the investors that believed in that process. Okay. So the 4 most powerful emotions you can build with, and we're going to get into how we summon them and the ones that you want to avoid. Okay. Starbucks. Here's the 4. I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to give you a business example. Starbucks, who, by the way, I had this conversation a couple times after the last few shows. Because I talk about a business, doesn't mean that I believe and I'm giving my blessing or whatever on their ethics as how they run a business. I have lots of issues with Howard Schultz and a lot of the decisions, but the business model, right? The business model and the things that came through to make it successful, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't mean that I bless the business. It doesn't mean that I'm not blessing the business. It does all those types of things. It just means that I'm using them as an example to show you the difference between somebody who got it right and somebody who completely messed it up. So, so here with Howard Schultz and Starbucks, we're talking about his conviction and gratitude. We've got 4 emotions: conviction, belief in the third place. Now, I want you to pause. Don't think about Starbucks. Don't think about Howard Schultz, but I want you to think about the conviction that you have in your own business. I want you to think about, is your conviction, is it something that is multiplying the amount of service, the amount of people that you are serving with your business and with your company and with your service? Is it multiplying out into the marketplace? And do you believe in your product and or service so much that that's why you have a business in the first place? Okay. Howard Schultz had this conviction in the belief in the third place. Okay. He believed that there was really two places before Starbucks came along, and one of them happened to be home, and the other one happened to be work. And this third place that he created was called Starbucks, a place where you could go hang out, do business, listen to music, have the smell of coffee. And he learned that by being around Italy and the espresso bars and watching how people interacted. And that's what he wanted to create, was that belief in the third place. Gratitude towards employees and customers, legendary for him. Curiosity. Where did he come up with it? He studied the Italian espresso culture. Okay. Discipline, rolling out stores strategically. Those four things, right? If you go back to conviction, gratitude, curiosity, and discipline, just write those four words down and give yourself in your own business a little test, right? A little test of how that all comes together for you. How would you grade yourself in your business in these particular areas? Okay. And we all know, by the way, what is Starbucks at? $100 billion business. It's a $100 billion business with coffee. Okay. With coffee. So the next business that we're going to talk about is WeWork. Adam Newman, hubris. Sorry. He believed that the rules didn't apply to him. He was impatient, scaling before systems, right? Resentment. He blamed his doubters. Fear of slowing down, erratic and compulsive decisions. Now, what happened there? Hundreds of millions of dollars. And I made some notes just to make sure that I got some of this correct, right? Hubris. Let's jump in. Let's just go back real quick to this word hubris. He had an inflated sense of self-importance and a grand vision. He believed that he was changing the world. I say that a lot, so I have to look at myself in the mirror sometimes when some of these words come up, and talk about this, right? So he went too far, right? And this is what I mean, what they mean by hubris. And I run into this. This is the number one deal killer for people that are selling their companies. I built a company. I've been doing this for 30 years. Who are you to come in and tell me I'm going to go sell this thing? Blah, blah, blah. Young, successful people that may have had the help of their family, and they build a one business success. Now they know exactly. They're two different things. Let me just put it this way. Okay. If you are a heart surgeon, right, and you get called in to work on a brain, your alignment, you could be excellent at one thing and completely fail and kill somebody on the other side. This is what happens with most business owners. They've done a good enough job to be able to create a product, a service, a business, right, a machine, an asset that somebody else wants to buy. That's great. But when you get ready to package that up, you do not know how to package your business up to be able to sell it for optimum levels. Most business owners, if they sell it all, again, remember this, 50% of them fall apart after post-close. So even after they've sold, they fail. But most of them have this pile of money that they could be getting, and they settle for about 30% of that when they do sell. 30, 40% is about the max. Okay. Not only that, but it could be accelerated. It could be polished up. If you knew what you were doing, private equity knows how to do that. They've been doing that. That is why it is the greatest place for people to invest. They're literally changing some of the laws because that is the greatest place for people to invest, is in small and mid-sized businesses that are actually physically helping, building, doing things for people that isn't financial and isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? That isn't speculative. It's real world. That's why you, small and mid-sized business owners, we are the ones that the world invests invests in and gets the best returns from. We're just starting to realize they've realized that, and they've been doing that quietly for the last 10 years to a place where they used to have about 1,500-ish private equity firms. Now there's 7,000, and that doesn't even include the 70 million weekend warriors that go to a course for a weekend and come out M&A experts at the other side of it. It is exploded. Right? It has exploded into this space. So you may know what you're doing with your business, right? With your business, but you don't know how to sell your company. That's the only thing that you want to come back to. You want to get away from that hubris. Most business owners that we run into have to have a sense of humility. The ones that make it all the way through to optimizing both in cash flow and also the exit of their business, they have a sense of humility. I know what I'm doing here. I need some help over here. Help me get it down the door. Okay. Are you a business owner running hard, burning out, and still not getting ahead? I'm Jason Sisneros, founder of Built to Exit. I've bought, built, fixed, exited over 24 companies of my own. I've helped hundreds of business owners do the same. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably didn't start your business to be trapped in it. And yet, here you are, overwhelmed, underpaid, drowning in noise from fake gurus and recycled advice. Been there. Built to Exit isn't just another course. It's not a magic bullet. It's a system, a proven blueprint built from real world experience, not theory. We help owners control the 3 things that really matter in business: price, the timing, and the terms of your exit. Whether that means more cash in your pocket now, more freedom starting today, or a full-blown exit strategy that lets you walk away on your own terms, our team knows how to get you there. So if you're done guessing, done with the excuses, and ready to win, visit builttoexit.biz today to schedule your free 15-minute strategy call with a senior advisor. We'll show you exactly where the leaks are in your business and how to fix them, because everybody exits. How you exit is the only thing that really matters. Builttoexit.biz. We play to win. Do you? So what happened again? Let's look at what happened here with Adam. Keep this in mind. Like when you have hubris, he expanded into ventures. He took people's money that he was losing. It wasn't his money. They were investing, and he started We Live, We Grow, I've seen so many business owners do this. Instead of, anchoring in and realizing the business model that they're in and getting that optimized for cash flow, they start going off. They start going off a path because what they want, they think that they've cracked something in the marketplace, which is very rare, by the way. It does happen, but it's very rare. Real estate is real estate is real estate is the lesson of WeWork, right? Real estate is real estate is real estate. Thought he was going to be the first trillionaire. He was going to take WeWork to Mars and he was going to live forever. Okay. Disregard for corporate governance, financial fundamentals, engaged in self-dealing, such as trademarking the word we and selling it to the company for millions of dollars. Company's IPO perspective revealed massive losses and unusual governance. I love when they say unusual governance. That means cheating. And gave him excessive control, raising red flags for investors. Excessive and unbridled ambition. I'm just reading. This is just me reading. This is not me. This is what actually happened. Pursued growth without a clear path to profitability. He led to reckless spending and reliance on ever-increasing valuations. Valuations is not spendable money, by the way, from investors. He often overestimated his abilities and the company's value. The myth maker persona, charismatic and hypnotic personality. Okay. Oh boy. Every time we get a lot of people at Built to Exit that come to us after going through the pain of going through a bad process where they, handed their business over, they sold it, and then post-close it falls apart, bringing us back in to put it back together. People, sometimes the main, the father or the mother or whatever pass away and they leave it on to the family. So we get called in to help build processes and procedures, et cetera, et cetera. It does, we run into a lot of the times these people are charismatic and have a hypnotic personality. So you got to be careful. Do due diligence. I don't know how many times I got to say this. I say it every show, but you got to do due diligence in the people you do it. Have you done this before? If you want to buy my business, have you done this before? Number one. Number two, do you have the money in a bank account ready to go execute to be able to buy my company? Yes or no? If the answer is no, great. They could be good friends, but do not get wrapped up in the process of selling. Okay. So let's move on. So the 4 most powerful book, let's go back. We started with Howard Schultz, but I want you to now shift your mindset, shift your thinking into you, the individual that's watching this. Okay. Conviction. When it comes to your business, I know why I'm here. Energy. Okay. I know why my business exists. I have fallen in love with the outcome of my target audience. My product solves a particular challenge in the marketplace. And I know that I do it better. And if you don't have this conviction, get your business and that outcome and that target audience honed so well that then it becomes a conviction. I know who I'm helping. I know who I'm helping because I was who I was helping. I crashed my first 3 businesses. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I needed help, right? And the people that I helped back then, or that I paid to help as far as consultants, were rip-off artists, right? And then when I went to sell my business of that first time, the people that were around me were rushing me. I'm going to get to that on the other side, but they were rushing me. They all wanted their money. They could give a shit how much money went in my pocket. They wanted to be part of the deal, right? And so now I understand the fear and the uncertainty and the desire, all of the things that happen. I know that people get to a place where they have to sell because of death or divorce or disagreement or lots of those issues. And then when those things happen to them, life happens to them, they're not ready to sell. And then there's no buyer because they didn't do all of the work to set it up. I know with conviction who the hell I help. And I know when that company is successful and when our other businesses are successful. I know what I do with that money, the charities that we support, the work that we do ourselves with our own hands. I know where the people what's going to be happening for my kids. I know I stand on conviction that you can't touch me on of what I do and why I do it. The reason why me and the wolf pack had a transcendent experience is what happens when I do speak on stage. It's because it's not about me. I know why I'm there. I'm there to serve that audience. I'm not there to get somebody to pat me on the back. I know who I am. I like what I see in the mirror. I know that my wife loves me. I know that my kids love me. I know I'm not there to get their love. I'm there to serve them with my love. That's the conviction of why people bring me into their speech. That's why some of the bigger stages would love to have me on the stage, but I'm not coming, right? Until their alignment becomes in alignment with the ethics of which I live my life, which, by the way, I didn't always. Everybody, I don't want people to think that I believe that I am holier than thou, because I promise you I am not. I still make mistakes. I still have arrogance. I still have those things that I want to beat out of my system. And as a younger man, all of these things were more like a disease. So, but I do want you to understand is that is the transition that you can make. I made all the wrong decisions. I was in the wrong rooms. I was on the wrong stages. I was doing things for the wrong reasons. Now I know with conviction, my leadership and the way that I live my life is not for me to say, oh, look at me. It's more like, hey, look at the stuff I messed up. Here's some decisions you can make for your own life, and you can go change them. And that is what, when you go to LinkedIn or go look at any of my referrals or any of the stuff, that's the energy that you get from the people that I have served in my life. I am a servant. No matter how much money I'm worth, I'm a servant. No matter how much money, whether that's a shitload of money or whether it's you've got to start from that premise of being a servant. That's how on the rock you need to be in your conviction for you and your own business. And if you're not, work on it, right? If you're not, get that thing so fine-tuned, be so passionate, be so committed, have so much conviction as to the word, right? Have so much conviction that you are obsessed with the outcome of someone besides yourself. That's where your conviction comes from. Gratitude. Oh my gosh. I could spend a whole entire month on this word gratitude. And I just want you to stop and think about, who do you express gratitude to? What are you grateful for in your own life? Who are the people that have touched your life? Who are the people that have helped you along the way? And I can think back again, no longer just this trip to Chicago. The people that were there, the people that I helped, the people that I run into, there was an immense amount of gratitude from some people. There was a less amount of gratitude from some other people, and every day of my life, I watch that. My objective is to be the most grateful person that I can be, and to show gratitude to those who have earned it in my life, and also to give without the expectation of anything in return. It's still, I'm going to tell you, it stings a little bit. You know this, that when you give and all there is, oh my gosh, okay, I got that. Again, I don't want to jump into specific stories because it'll out people that do this, but there's a lot of times when your effort, your energy, the impact that you have is not going to be recognized. And that has to be okay, because if it's not okay, it's just prostitution. I'm doing something to get something back. And that can never be the energy that you give gratitude in. Gratitude has to be given fully away, to someone else without any expectation of anything in return. Okay. Buyers pay more for companies with low turnover and strong culture. So if your entire culture is built around the concept of gratitude to the people that are paying your bills, i.e. your customers, and it's happening because of your the team that you've built, i.e. your employees, expression of gratitude to those people. And some people, here's what I get the pushback on this the most, is that, Jason, you don't know my employees. If I give them gratitude, they're just going to say, oh, well, that means I don't have to work as hard. Then you have the wrong employees. People that get gratitude and love to serve and love doing a good job, that gratitude is going to do nothing more than build a stronger culture, and they're going to want to do more with you, for themselves, and for you as the owner of the business. And if not, you got to start thinking about changing out those particular employees. Okay. Curiosity keeps you innovating, adapting, and finding hidden opportunities. This curiosity is one of those things. I love that the team put together here. We've always done it this way. Like, this is a great statement. If you have a business and you're saying we've always done it this way, today you are on a very fast road to going out of business. You have AI, you have social media, you have technology, you have robotics, you have all of these things that's coming. Now, that's not to say that the principles of business are still the same, but your strategies and your tactics have to shift a little bit to be able to meet modern day execution and delivery of your product and or service. Okay. And being on the front end of that makes your business worth more, and it's adaptable, right? That's what somebody who's looking to buy a business is looking for, that adaptability. Discipline. This is the biggest one. If you have discipline, this is the biggest one that is missing these days. People have become, I love it, by the way. When I say this is not judgmental. I love what I'm about to say, is that most people are lazy these days. That should excite you if you're not lazy. If you are lazy, that should excite you to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't be so lazy. It is discipline, execution, right? No company is ever going to sell without systems and processes. Systems and processes take discipline. They take intelligence. They take intellect. They take measurement. They take humility, right? They take those things for you to be able to build a business that turns into predictability. and I will say this now, I'll say it 100 more times, is that when somebody comes in to buy your business, they're not buying a business. They're not buying your stories. Stories is a part of it, but they're not buying. What they're buying is certainty. They're buying certainty that the money that they put in is going to come back with more money than they put in. That's what they're doing. And so your entire presentation, your entire prep of where you are and where you're headed and the things that you're doing in your business should be to add certainty to the future owner of your business. Those are the 4. Now, let's get into the 4 that take things away. Fear. Fear comes across in a lot of ways, right? Fear comes along in a lot of ways. It makes you short-sighted. It makes you make decisions that are short-sighted. It has you make decisions based on greed. I got to get mine. Like these are that. If I had to say that there's an epidemic in business right now, it's I got to get mine today, right? I got to get my stacks today. I hear so many of these different comments and phrases and all that kind of stuff. Look, life is going to go on. Business is going to go on. Well, it's going to change shape. Like the one constant in life is actually change, but there's always going to be a need for us, the merchants, and there's always going to be a need for us to serve. Okay. Fear-based decisions lead to massive mistakes, missed opportunities, and bad hires. There's so many things that happen in fear. And the more arrogant somebody is in business, the more fearful they are. Resentment. Wasting energy on grudges instead of growth. Emotionally attaching inappropriately. Okay. This is your business owner that's like, oh, that person is screwing us over. We're going to go after them. We're going to go sue them. We're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. That resentment, anytime you're spending time in resentment as a business owner is absolutely wasted time. And again, it goes back. Resentment is just another dimension of fear in my opinion. And it just means that you think that there's such a thing as scarcity in this life. It just shows that there's not a bunch of gratitude. It just shows that maybe the people that you're around, you need to upgrade who you're hanging out with so that they're more aspirational in life. Resentment if I see resentment or deep fear in somebody, I will attempt to help and redirect because that's my job as a leader. But if somebody's stuck here and this is their home, we're not going to be hanging out very much. Hubris. We went deep into that on the WeWork side of it, but it's thinking you're too big, too smart, or too special to fail. It leads to overreach and blind spots. I don't know. It's so difficult for me to be able to transmit or communicate not just money. I mean, look, the reason why you're building a business is to create enough money to free yourself. We've already established that. It's not just money that this particular word costs you. It costs you potential. It costs you relationships. It costs you being, having that sense of pride in a life well lived. I know. Trust me, I know, because this was me for the majority of my early life. And it was, again, I believe that everything is based out of fear. I was afraid that if people got to know the real me, that they would see that I was weak in this area and that I had been, that I had these things and that I wasn't from the right family and that my adopted father was in prison and for attempted murder of me and my mom and all of these things, which now those of you that have followed me at all, those are my strengths, actually. Those are the things that I stand on. And it was because I was able to get rid of my pride, which was anchored in fear, which was anchored in a worldly perspective. I now know that the time on this earth is temporary, right? Who I am is eternal. So those are the things that change that shift to know, oh, I'm a servant. And the more that I serve, the better my skill sets can get because now I know that I'm increasing my skill sets to be a better servant. How do I know I'm being a better servant is because I get the feedback from the people that I'm serving that I have served them well and that they tell other people that I'm serving them well, right? These are the things that most people again, we just live in an epidemic where everybody's like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr. I am guru, you follow me. That other guru stupid. This other guru not have enough abs. That other guru not fly big enough jet." That's not what we should be doing. Okay. My flex these days is Wolfpack in Chicago. How many people can I touch their heart deeply enough, genuinely enough, passionately enough, with enough love that it creates momentum enough for them to shift one thing in their life? That's it. That's my flex. If I can do that, if with one person, and that's, you know what? That flex is between me and God. It's not even between me and the rest of the world, right? That's because that's the ultimate thing. When I end up at those pearly gates, that's the judgment I'm looking for. That's the conversation I want to have. What did I do with this? Was I able to serve? Was I able to align with, Lord knows I'm so far away from the path and the foot and the walk of Jesus, but I try, I give it my best shot. That's my judge. It's not the newspapers. It's not the newspapers. Good Lord. How old am I? Do those even exist? So anyway, you get my point. Impatience. Let's pause here just for a second. On impatience, because I see this, oh my gosh, so much. A business owner, like when you have not decided to build to exit way ahead of time, okay? Way ahead of time. It takes minimum 18 months to get your company set up to be able to be polished enough to be able to get what it's worth, okay? 3 years is ideal. And then starting today, and maybe you don't want to sell for 10 years, whatever, but still, once you get it into a rhythm of ironically, having a business built to sell also is optimizing the cash flow for you to be able to pull off the table while you own it at the highest level. Ironically, okay? Impatience is, I waited too long, something outside of my life has happened, and now I have to sell. You're not going to get what you're probably not going to sell. 93% of companies that get put on the market don't sell. And so you're probably not going to sell. And if you do, it's probably going to be less than what you're looking for. And if you even do that, then you may not even, that may fall apart and you may have to take the thing back again as it is. Don't be impatient. Start now, because the next 18 months is going to go by anyway. I run into this all the time. Jason, I don't want to spend any time fixing my business. I want to sell it right now. Okay, we're not the right people for you. We will be the right people for you when you come back to me in 18 months, you haven't sold, or in 2 years when, now your company is in bankruptcy because you sold it to the wrong people. Eventually we're going to talk. And I don't say that arrogantly. I don't say that to be mean. I genuinely can't help you if you think you know everything. And I can't tell you how many times that I would venture to say it's every single time somebody comes to me and we're like, hey, here's the process. Here's what we do. Here's the value that we add as a business. And they're like, no, that's not fast enough. I just want you to put it on the market and sell. Plenty of brokers out there that will sell your company. They'll take your money, they'll package it up, they'll throw it up on some website, and they won't sell your company for you. You'll pay them not to sell your company. Plenty of them. Go use them. But come back to us when you get yourself in trouble or you actually want to sell your business, right? That's what we talk about. So don't be impatient, be patient. And always remember, the whole point of this show is that everybody exits. The whole realization, if all somebody did was come across this podcast or me one time as a business owner and they walked away and they go, what was that one thing that you took away from Jason Sisneros and that built to exit company, right? It's that everybody exits. That is something that sticks in your psychology. Why? Because it's true. Every funeral that you've ever been to, every funeral that I've ever been to, you realize that inside that casket is not somebody's business. Inside that casket is not somebody's Lambo. Inside that casket is a bunch of memories that the people that are there to celebrate that life, you leave that behind. Yes, you could leave a business that is now encumbering and making your family fall apart and fight. This is what happens, guys. I have been inside of all of these. The very rare is it that somebody just goes and then, they've handed it off and no, there's no problem. There's nobody fighting over the money that's left in the business and blah, blah, blah. Most often it's chaos because nobody thought about the fact that everybody exits how matters. The wrong mindset can kill a good business. The right mindset can save a bad one. That's it. That is the episode. So today I'll tell you what we normally do, what we're not going to be doing anymore. I got to start putting this out on the podcast. We're going to go over to Twitter. We usually do a live conversation over there on Twitter after this. A lot of longtime listeners and whatnot. This is going to be the last time we do this. So come hang out with us over on Twitter. It's at the J Sisneros. Follow over there. I put a lot of stuff on Twitter as well. But this is the last time we're going to be doing this live. My team has put together a much better environment for us and something that you can plan for to come hang out with all of the business owners, because our numbers are starting to expand and we're starting to see that to serve you better, there needs to be a couple of times during the month that we all get together that you can put on your calendar and plan to be there live with us as a group. So we'll be announcing that pretty soon. Today is going to be the last time we're doing this, right after the show over on Twitter. This is the last time we're going to be doing it. So I hope a lot of you that have been with me over there for the years are going to come say goodbye, and I'll let you know. You'll be the first group of people that'll know, obviously, because you're signed up at jasonsisneros.com for the newsletter, or you've signed up for it at builttoexit.biz or whatever. You'll know. You guys will be the first to know where we're going to be hanging out a couple of times live with each other, because it's so important. It's just this Saturday, I know it just doesn't work. So we just have decided we're going to do it a couple of times a month and give you guys an opportunity to meet each other, hang out with each other. The environment and the team and the people that have come together around this concept of Built to Exit and the podcast has been mind-blowing. I mean, it's put me on television. It's gotten me, on amazing podcasts that are coming up. It's done a lot of things, and that only has to do with you. And so I want to continue to do a good job for you, continue to put you in a place for you to win, continue to put you around other people that are in the Built to Exit community so that you can do business with them and they can do business with you. And you guys can partner up and do things together that I've watched happen over the last few years. Anyway, so thanks again. My next event, I guess next week, we're going to Maryland. So we're going to Maryland. And then from Maryland, we go to Austin, Texas for the DealCon down there. And then we go back to Austin again at the end of that month for another event, 650 people plus. I think that one's public, so it should be on the website. And then October, I'll be in Houston. Lots of stuff coming up. So anyway, go to jasonsisneros.com, see where I'm at, come see me, come hang out. Even if you can get to the events that I'm at, that's fantastic, because again, as I said, if I'm there, that means that I've vetted them. I believe in them. They're some of the good guys and good women in this world that are putting on events. And if you can't get to the event, that's fine. We just put together dinners where we all get together when I'm in these cities anyway. So love you all very much. Make sure you share this out as you have been to anybody that you know may need to hear what's going on in the marketplace. There's a lot of people that are out there fake. They can't buy a business, and they're wasting people's time, and they're putting business owners in terrible positions. Make sure that they get this information, so if nothing else, that they can protect them, their family, and the asset that they've spent so much time, spent so many tears, sweat, blood, all the other things that's come along with building a business. This show is meant to protect them. I love you guys. I'll see you for the last time over on Twitter at the J Sisneros. It'll say Built to Exit B2X After Party. We'll see you there in just a few minutes. I'm Jason Sisneros from everybody at Built to Exit. God bless you. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your trust. We'll see you next Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like always. Peace.